What's up, guys? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over Wixwell's abilities and the champion that you can basically choose as a community what skills you want for this champion. So let's get into it. All right, y'all, so we've got Wixwell right here. I got a picture of him posted so you know what he looks like, put a face to the skills. And for the first week or the first few days, we get to choose between these three skills. This is going to be, I believe, is A3. So starting off with potential, so stage 1, skill 3. That's what we're choosing between. That's you guys. So make sure you go in and actually choose what you want to pick for a skill. This is going to be so important because he could actually be our counter to ARMANZ fusion. Everybody's counter to ARMANZ fusion. Or he could be an absolute nuke monster, potentially. We don't know the multipliers on his skills, but he could be a monster nuker. So, damage focus. Attacks one enemy. Will ignore stone skin buffs. There you go. He's a nuker, right? If this attack kills the target, fills his turn meter by 50%, which almost gets him another turn soon. And that's really strong because then you can go in and do another damage ability if he has the skill 2 and skill 1 also being damage abilities. Me personally, as a free-to-play player, I love that because there's only, what, 2 champions in the game right now that, or 3 champions that can completely ignore stone skin, which is Georgid, the mythical champion, and what's her name? Mezamel, and what was the last one? That dude that's not even that great, and he's in like the Sylvan Watchers. I don't even remember his name, but he's not that great. They buffed his damage. He still doesn't hit hard. Ileal still doesn't hit that hard. He's decent, but doesn't hit that hard still. So this guy could be the 4th, the champion that can ignore stone skin buffs, which is pretty sweet. I love that. All right, so let's move on to the next skill here. For defense focus, places 2 intercept stacks on a target ally. Also places 60% increased defense buff and a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield is proportional to his defense. So that's basically like a Valkyrie shield, or potentially your UDK shield based on defense, or even your Helicath shield based on defense and damage. So he could be halfway decent with this ability. Intercept is definitely a new ability. Let me just go ahead and pull this up really quickly for you to showcase to you what Intercept will do. So one of Vaultkeeper Wixwell's skill options has a new buff, Intercept. Here's a bit of info on how it works. The Intercept buff will block any attempt to place crowd control debuff on a champion. That's any champion, even if it is specified in the enemy's skill that the debuff itself cannot be blocked. This includes a stun, sleep, freeze, provoke, fear, true fear, petrification, and sheep debuffs. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why he will be the best counter in the entire game to ARMANZ fusion. Because he does stuns and he does sheep. So if this guy in Wixwell can get the intercept buffed off on all your allies, it's going to go on for 2 turns, I'm pretty sure. And if it's on for 2 turns, you don't get stunned and then you don't get sheeped. So that's pretty freaking amazing, which allows you to be able to take a turn. Most people don't run 2-turn stone skin on ARMANZ. Typically it's 1 turn with high speeds and high accuracy. And that turn will end and Wixwell's team will still have the intercept buff if it's 2 turns. A champion can receive multiple stacks of intercept. There you go. Each intercept stack will block 1 attempt at placing a crowd control debuff. After the attempt, 1 intercept stack will be removed. The intercept buff has no duration, therefore cannot have its duration increase or decreased, which is insane. So that's a complete counter to ARMANZ, the ultimate counter to ARMANZ in the entire game. Okay, I dare to challenge me in this in the comments below. The ultimate counter in the entire game is Wixwell for ARMANZ. So this is what you want to pick. You do not want to pick, although it sounds enticing, This is what you want to pick as a community. You do not want to pick Ignore Stone Skin, even though it sounds amazing. And even though I really want that. You need to pick this in order to completely go against ARMANZ these days. If you don't have speed, right? And then you put all your speed gear on this guy. So let's take a look here. So the intercept buff also cannot be spread to allied champions. So cannot be spread. All right. So does he place it on all enemies, on all allies though? On a target ally. That kind of sucks. Wait a minute. I'm thinking all allies. Increase defense and shield on all allies, but intercept on one target. That's still strong, though. That's still strong. It sucks that it's not all allies. Okay. If a crowd control debuff is placed on a champion that has an intercept stack and the block debuff buff, an intercept stack will not be removed. However, if a crowd control debuff that cannot be blocked is placed on a champion with both intercept and block debuffs, an intercept stack will be removed. If a crowd control debuff that can be blocked is placed on a champion who is immune to that debuff, an intercept stack won't be removed. However, if a crowd control debuff that cannot be blocked is placed on a champion who is immune to that debuff, an intercept stack will be removed. If a champion under an intercept buff and another intercept buff with less stacks than a champion currently has is placed on them, the number of intercept stacks on the champion remains unchanged. If a champion steals an intercept buff from an enemy, they will also steal as many intercept stacks as the initial champion had when the buff was stolen. So, I changed my mind. I kind of changing my mind. I can't change my mind here. Oh, man. Wait a minute. If it was all allies, that would be the best. The absolute best. I guess you can put it on like a champion that cleanses, basically. You put the intercept buff on a champion that cleanses, which means they're going to be fully immune to sheep from ARMANZ and fully immune to any debuffs if they don't have stone skin. Yeah, it's still potentially the better ability to choose. So yeah, I mean, personally, I think that you'd want to put defense focus so far compared to damage focus, because those shields are massive, and plus if you're having struggles on Fire Knight hard, he might actually be insane with the increased defense and shield on all allies. So that's the other reason why it's so strong. Of course, against a King Narcissus, you're going to get crushed because of the shields. So, yeah, it's tough. I guess if you're just trying to face ARMANZ, he would just be a solo. He would be the only person to counter ARMANZ to any type of capacity, right? Whereas right now you can only compete with ARMANZ with having higher speed or having full stone skin with high resist or full stone skin with high speeds, which is a challenge, right? Because ARMANZ can potentially remove everybody's stone skin, but with defense focus on that ability, he could make it so that ARMANZ cannot remove it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm still saying that defense focus is strong, even though it's not an AoE intercept buff on all allies. I wonder what the cooldown is. Maybe it's on a 3-turn cooldown or a 4-turn cooldown. I hope it's on a 3-turn. That would be helpful. And then you can potentially put him in, like, you know, a relentless gear would be pretty cool, but with really, really high speeds. But I feel like it's tough because unless he has a speed aura, hopefully in the last week of choosing the aura, it's a speed aura in all battles by 30%. If he has a speed aura by 30%, it'll make this ability very, very, very strong against ARMANZ and makes him the most free-to-play viable ARMANZ counter in the entire game, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's still good. Obviously, the damage is there, potentially with the Ignore Stone Skin, but we could get an Ileal. We could get an Ileal amount of damage multiplier, and then he doesn't even hit hard at all, and then the UDK just doesn't die, right? And the UDK could have the reaction accessories anyways. So it's not like he's attacking twice like Mezamel. He's only attacking one time. So, I mean, it's not George. It's definitely not going to be Georgiad level unless this guy is a Void Legendary, which we don't know yet. So, yeah. So there's a lot of. It's tough. I can't say for sure, but I'm kind of leaning towards defense focus. This has to be the strongest guy for ARMANZ currently for a counter. For the support focus, we've got revives all dead allies, 50% HP, 50% turn meter, places a 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. The number of poison debuffs placed on each target is equal to the number of allies revived. So in Arena, that's 3. In Hydra, ooh, that's 5 people you're reviving potentially, right? But poison doesn't do a crazy amount of damage to Hydra as compared to HP burn. It actually does way less damage. So personally, do we really need support focus? No, there's so many support revivers in the game at this point. And we've already had so many fusions for support revivers. This is a strong revive, but it's not insane by any means. Personally, I'm still leaning towards defense focus because it works in, like, damage focus is just PvP focused. Okay? Defense focus is going to be PvP, PvE, just general progression. That's why I think defense focus is also good. So in me trying to coerce you into potentially picking defense focus is because of ARMANZ, is because of general progression, hard Fire Knight. Damage focus is not really going to help you for a hard Fire Knight if you're focusing on that, but defense focus will, right? So yeah, I'm probably going to go with defense focus on this one, guys. This is going to be the takeaway. I think he's going to be the best hard counter, not super hard counter, but a hard counter to ARMANZ, the best one in the game that will be added soon. Of course, they're going to bring out more champions in the future, I'm sure, to help counter ARMANZ because everybody just really doesn't like ARMANZ right now. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Do you think I'm right on this, or do you want to go damage focus? I feel like a lot of people are going to want to go damage focus just because of the stone skin. But again, I highly recommend going defense focus if you want any chance at being able to counter ARMANZ if you're struggling, basically. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on a video soon. Take care.